Hello and welcome to this week's episode. I'm Austin and this is Brian. First thing we're going to talk about is Red River Rivalry. Is this weekend. It's getting close and dear to both of us. And there's been a lot of talk whether if it should stay at the Cotton Bowl or if it should move out to Arlington in the Cowboys' new stadium. Brian, what do you think?
I really think this game needs to stay in the Cotton Bowl. Growing up here in Norman, this game means so much to me, and it's just always been a traditional game that has been played in the stadium that's split right down the middle. I mean, I've been in Jerry World a couple times, but it'd be kind of hard to split it. There's so much light and stuff. I mean, I think it's just a really special venue, and this game is just very important nationally every year, and I really think that this venue in the middle of the state fair is the perfect place for this game, and it's been there for as long as I can remember, and I really think that this is a very special venue in the nation, and I think it should stay there.
It is a really nice spectacle at the Cotton Bowl, but I think it would be better at Jerry World because you can fit a whole lot more fans in there. It's going to be nice inside. There's not just going to be, horrible weather conditions that you can get in Texas. With more tickets, you can lower the prices a little bit. Hopefully, Jerry Jones, please listen to this. And you can still split down. You can split any stadium down the center and have half and half. I think that along with the giant video board and all the spectacle that goes along with Cowboys Stadium, that would only add to the prestige of this game.
All right, now we're going to cover some games this week. We're going to do all the top 25 matchups, minus the OU-Texas game. Since we are very biased towards this game, we will give our keys to the game on that one. But let's start out with Wisconsin-Michigan State. Austin, how do you feel this game will go?
Well, Michigan State has Coach D'Antonio coming back after he had his heart attack. That'll be an emotional lift for them. But I think for Wisconsin, they're going to have to rely heavily on the run. That's their key. John Clay has 501 yards and 6 touchdowns so far in the season rushing for them. They have twice as many rushing attempts as to pass attempts, so they're a very run-heavy team. But when they do pass, they have a very high completion percentage with their quarterback. So I think that Wisconsin has their effectiveness at passing is going to allow them to run the ball very effectively.
I really feel Michigan State's been playing pretty well so far this year. They had a pretty good game last week, and without Coach D'Antonio there, and him coming back this week, I think it will be an emotional lift for them. Though the players will want to play hard for him. He'll be in the box watching the game, and I really feel that since this game's being played in East Lansing, that Michigan State will be able to hold off Wisconsin in this game. And that Michigan State's offense, with the dynamic passing and running the ball combination, I think that they will be able to pull this game out.
I don't know if Michigan State could fake another field goal. They might just kill Coach D'Antonio.
Yeah, he might have another heart attack. That wouldn't be good.
On to a game that I don't know if there's many people that actually care about. It's Florida versus Alabama. But, no, this is going to be a really huge game to see. It could be a preview of the SEC title game. So, Brian, what do you think is going to happen?
Well, in this game, I think Alabama survived that close scare at Arkansas last week, and they showed that they could win close games on the road. This week, they're playing at home. They got Florida coming in. I really don't see Alabama having a whole lot of trouble in this game. Florida has looked mediocre at best up to this point. I mean, they put up a big score against Kentucky, but it is Kentucky. So I really think that Mark Ingram could go off again in this game, and it'll be a flashback of the SEC championship game, and hopefully Tim Tebow won't cry at the end of this one.
Tebow. Well, he could cure cancer if he starts to cry.
Maybe.
He could. But for Florida, they have a tough defense in Alabama that they're going to try to get past. John Brantley's going to have to grow up really quickly in this game. He's going to play a lot better. Their other quarterback, Trey Burton, has been playing kind of what Tebow did back when Chris Leak was the quarterback. He'd come in and goal line stands because even though he's a quarterback, he has 11 carries and 7 touchdowns in the season. So you see, they're bringing him in on the goal line situations. And if they can have effectiveness with that, I think they have a good chance to put up a good fight.
Next game we're going to cover is a big game out in the Pac-10 this week. It's going to be Stanford traveling to Oregon. Austin, how do you think Oregon can win this game?
I hate both of these teams, just to get that on the record. But Oregon has actually surprised me with how effective they've been, considering they lost Jeremiah Masoli. I thought that they would just be one of those. They would be highly overrated because I didn't think they'd be any good. But they have, and the key has been LaMichael James. He already has 4 rushing touchdowns this season. Their rushing attack has been their key, and on the defensive side of the ball, they have to stop Andrew Luck, who has 11 passing touchdowns against only 2 picks, and he's their second leading rusher. So even when people have been able to get pressure on Andrew Luck, he's been able to find ways to get it done. So you're going to have to figure out ways to stop Andrew Luck.
Well, Stanford has to travel to Autzen Stadium, which I think can be problematic because even if you win, you lose. And I think that Stanford they've got to really step up and play big in this game. Andrew Luck's got to have an incredible game, and the defense, Stanford's defense was suffocating last week in South Bend. And I really feel that for them to come in there and take this game away from the Ducks, they've got to play almost perfect on both sides of the ball. Andrew Luck's got to have a great game, and the defense has to just be completely, just stop everything Oregon tries to do. And I really feel that if Stanford can play 100% mistake-free and almost perfect throughout this entire game, they might be in this one at the end. Might.
Final game of battle in the Big Ten again. We have Penn State going to Iowa. Brian, what do you think about this one?
Iowa has owned this game between these two schools in the past years. Even before Iowa became this national power and recognized that they are now, they just owned Penn State. And I don't look for that to change this year. Iowa's looked pretty good so far. They had that one slip up against Arizona, but Arizona's looked pretty good at home and pretty good almost everywhere so far. So I really look for Iowa in this game and Ricky Stanzi to have a pretty good game. And I really don't think that Iowa will have a whole lot of trouble. They're playing at home, and the crowd will be behind them, and I really think that Iowa can pull this game out fairly easily.
Well, Penn State already has had a big road challenge when they went down to Alabama, so this isn't anything new for Robert Bolton. Granted, he's a freshman. He hasn't had much success, 3 touchdowns against 5 interceptions on the season. They just need to play a smart and conservative offensive game. Don't lose the game on offense. Rely on their defense, attack Ricky Stanzi, force turnovers, get sacks, get him scared, and they have a good chance to put up a fight.
Okay, again this week we have the Red River rivalry going on in Dallas, and we're just going to talk about some keys to the game. Austin, what do you think the biggest key to the game for both teams is?
I think it's Landry Jones. I think Landry Jones has to play smart. I think he has to be effective because he's growing, he's becoming a really mature quarterback, and he's going against a very good defense in Texas's defense, especially their secondary. He's going to have to find his receivers. Ryan Broyles is going to be key. If Landry Jones can avoid turning the ball over, then this shouldn't be a contest.
I think that in this game, it's really going to come down to the Texas defense. I really feel that Texas offense has looked very subpar so far this year. Garrett Gilbert has not looked impressive. They just haven't looked very functional. And I really think the defense is going to have to step up and keep Oklahoma from being two-dimensional. If Oklahoma becomes two-dimensional, meaning DeMarco Murray can run the ball at will and Landry Jones can hit any of his receivers, whether it be Broyles or Stills, I think that if Texas can keep Oklahoma one-dimensional, it could keep them in this ball game. But Texas's offense is going to have to step up eventually. The defense can't win this game by itself. And I feel that if Oklahoma's defense can step up, they could hold Texas's offense scoreless if they don't improve. So I really think the key to this game is going to be Texas' defense, and if they can keep Oklahoma from being two-dimensional and just really putting up a big score in this game.
Well, going back to the first of the games, Wisconsin and Michigan State, I think I've liked Wisconsin all season. I think they're a dark horse to win the Big Ten, and I think they're going to beat Michigan State this week, 24-21.
I really think that Wisconsin has a good team this year, and Michigan State has really been a surprise team so far this year. I mean, a lot of teams have been surprised that they're still undefeated. They've had a fairly rigorous schedule. I mean, they've had a couple cupcakes in there, but they were able to knock off Notre Dame. Granted, it took a heart attack and a fake field goal to do it. But I look for Michigan State to actually win this game barely. They're at home. They've got the coach coming back, and I really think that they have a chance to pull this one out. Our next game is the Florida-Alabama game. This game is being played in Alabama. Austin, who do you think will win this game?
Well, I think the Crimson Tide are just going to be too good for Florida this one. I think it'll be competitive for a little while, but I think Alabama finds a way to pull away, wins it 31-17.
Yeah, I really think that Mark Ingram and Trent Richardson are just going to be too much for Florida. They were too much for them last year, and I think they're going to be more than enough for them this year. Florida's not the Florida they were last year or the year before. They just haven't really looked that good so far, and I look for Bama to easily take this game.
Stanford is going to be at Oregon. This will give one team a huge advantage in the Pac-10. I think that Oregon is the better team. I think they're going to show it this weekend. I think they're going to knock off Stanford, something in the realm of 35-20.
I don't look for this game to be that close. I really think Oregon playing at Autzen Stadium is just, it's a great venue. The crowd gets loud. The refs aren't that good. But, I mean...
They're good for Oregon.
Yeah, they're good for Oregon. I really think that in the end, Oregon will just be too much for Stanford, and Andrew Luck will just have a very long day out there on the field. And he may not have that long because the offense may not be on the field very much. But I really feel that Oregon will take this game fairly easily.
And finally, back to Penn State at Iowa. Brian, what do you see happening?
I really see Iowa taking this game. Like I said, they've owned this rivalry in the past, and I really feel that they had a slip up against Arizona, and I really feel that they're going to have their stuff together, and they'll be able to push past Penn State at home. Yeah,
I think that Robert Bolton is just not ready to be a primetime quarterback here in the NCAA. I think Iowa will win this one 35-14.
All right, well, thank you all for watching again this week. Please subscribe to our show, and thank you for watching, and we'll see you again next week.